in Tucson, and the build-up to number 15 Washington State in Arizona. And the kickoff will go through the back of the end zone from Washington State kicker Eric Powell out to the 25 for Arizona as Khalil Tate leads the Wildcats offense.
He's got that angle-eating top-end speed. When he starts to turn the corner, defenders think they have an opportunity to chase down Khalil Tate. You consistently see him turning the corner anyway, and that effortless deep ball. We talked about this during the open because when he's back in the pocket, he sees one-on-one matchups consistently, but he's got not only the arm strength, but the accuracy to get it on the money.
So the Arizona offense takes the field. They lead the Pac-12 in scoring, rushing, and total offense. And they have scored 45 or more in each of their last 3 games. And ever since Khalil Tate has been inserted into the lineup for Rich Rod, Tate trying to bounce it outside, and the Cougars are ready for it. Jalen Thompson coming up to make the play.
Thompson's going to be one of the defensive backs who you'll see in constant movement. Pre-snap, but then he also plays at multiple levels on their defense post-snap.
Goes as a loss of 3. 2nd and 13. Tate looking to throw. Throws the deep ball. And it's for Poindexter. And Sean Poindexter with the catch.
As we referenced just a moment ago, you think for a moment that because you've contained the running ability of Khalil Tate, the story's over.
43 yards to Poindexter is on the ground. Arizona runs it with Nick Wilson.
And that'll be the rub tonight, over and over again for the Washington State defense, because the way they attack and penetrate schematically, I anticipate many snaps where they have success against the sort of angle lateral blocking scheme we see quite a bit from Arizona.
Tate under pressure. Tate trying to run. Here he goes. And he's brought down shy of the first down. Frankie Luvu with the tackle as Daniel Equale with the pressure forcing Tate out. And he'll set up 4th down. We'll see if they send the field goal unit out.
I think they should. You know, it's a first drive that's had some success. They've moved the ball, but, you know, my advice to Rich Rodriguez would be to take some points here early.
So Josh Pollock, this will be a 30-yarder as Pollock is 8 of 12 on the season. Trying to get points on the opening drive. Arizona for just the 2nd time this season. As Pollock. And it is good, and Arizona is on the board. 30-yard field goal from number 30. The Cats strike first. Well, and look at the Arizona numbers offensively and the Washington State defensive numbers this season. And you think, okay, they're both strong in what they do, but by the end of the night, they can't be both having strong performances, can they?
The numbers on the right are less surprising because of the history of Rich Rodriguez and what he's done with his spread option offense. But Washington State on defense and the growth they've had under Alex Grinch has been as impressive as anything we've seen from an assistant coach.
Lucas Havrasik with the kickoff and sends it through the back of the end zone. It'll come out to the 25 for Luke Falk and the Washington State offense.
Luke Falk on his record-setting pace. We expect to see multiple Pac-12 marks go down tonight. Elite pre-snap defensive recognition. He puts his team into run scenarios when it's called for, and then precision, especially with his accuracy, sets up run after catch for his wide receivers. You tend to see them on these crossing routes. He hits them in stride, and they pick up first downs.
So Falk needs 225 yards to pass Sean Manning to become the conference's all-time passing leader. Falk with 13,376 career yards. He's also 2nd in touchdown passes, trailing only Matt Barkley. From the 25, Falk, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Renard Bell, who was tipped. And Falk, who had completed 21 straight in that game last year against Washington State, or against Arizona to start it. It's not going to happen this year.
Jerry Wallace almost got his hands on this one. Didn't quite end up tipping it, but just being willing to undercut the route and fly underneath. That threw off the concentration of Renard Bell.
Falk, who has not gone over 300 yards in each of the last 3 games. So he's trying to get back on track. 5 receivers. Falk will step up, take off. He goes down. Pocket collapsing. Derek Bowles along with Justin Belknap for Arizona.
Up front on defense, they may not be quite as individually talented as Washington State, but we'll see some similarities schematically. The movement they have up front, especially on third downs, expect to see some twist stunts coming from their front.
And again, we talked about this at the top. The Cougars convert under 21% of their road third downs this season, which is the lowest number of any team in college football. Falk over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trying to squeeze that into Jameer Calvin. And a 3-and-out for the Arizona defense.
Well, a wide variety of both coverage and front looks shown from Marcel Yates and that Arizona defense. Once they got to third and long, went into their dime look, and both linebackers, both Schooler and Fields, as true freshmen, have had huge seasons so far.
So Kyle Sweet, who is a receiver and doubles as the punter for Washington State, averages over 36 yards per kick. And here is the rollout punt, and Sweet, and a fair catch made by Shun Brown at the Arizona 35 after a 40-yard punt. Second series for Tate in the Arizona offense. And Tate keeps. And Tate, first down, out across the 45. Justice Rogers on the tackle.
Khalil Tate hasn't been greedy with the carries. We've seen him willing, and there's situations where Calvin McGee has continued to call him into scenarios where it's called for him to give it, where it's not consistently being read on this option.
Zach Green with the carry, gets a couple out to the 49. Runs into Logan Tago. Green, who had a career best performance last week against Cal, ran for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, and with his performance last week, Arizona rewarding him, made his first career start tonight. Tate dancing behind the line to the edge, runs out of bounds in Cougar territory, chased out by Dylan Sherman. Arizona, they've had 4 different players run for 100 yards in a game this season, including Green last week. Of course, Tate each of the last 3 games. Nick Wilson a couple of weeks ago when we were here did it against UCLA.
It's part of what keeps defensive coordinators up at night, because there's not one weapon who you can really completely game plan around.
Tate wide open. This will be a touchdown. Jamie Nunley slipping out, the tight end. 48 yards for Arizona.
Yet another freshman in the lineup. Here from the wing position, Nunley will slip out of the backfield. And all the presence with eyes. 11 different sets of them on Khalil Tate. They've constantly lost sight of receivers who've run scot-free. Khalil Tate doesn't blow the layup there.
Pollock for the extra point, so Nunley, one of 61 freshmen on this Arizona roster, gets his first career score.
Weapons abound for Rich Rodriguez at Arizona Stadium. Homecoming night, 61 freshmen taking it for 6.
Jamie Nunley, the redshirt freshman, with a touchdown. The Buick scoring drive as the Cats go 65 yards in 4 plays as Khalil Tate, the 48-yard touchdown pass to Nunley. And it's 10-0 Arizona, almost 6 minutes in. Lucas Havrasik with the kickoff. And on the return for Washington State, juggled. Robert Taylor has trouble, and he does bring it out. Even though he's a running back, Morrow is 8th in Cougars history in receptions. On the ground, Gerard Wicks, the ball carrier. And Wicks out to the 30. Brought down by Luca Bruno. This Washington State offense, they're 5th in the country in passing at just under 360 yards per game. Off the pace from a year ago. Back in 2014 and 15, the air raid for Mike Leach led the country in passing. Falk on second down, and he nearly threw an interception. Jarius Wallace nearly had that pass. Tate Martin was in the area for Washington State.
Well, Arizona's gone some zone here, and you're waiting for receivers to work their way through one quadrant of the zone and then present themselves in the next. Tate Martin, as a true freshman, didn't continue to run the route through the coverage as Luke Falk expected. Ended up sitting down early.
So there are the third down struggles for the Cougars on the road this season. Morrow is the running back on 3rd and 6. Pressure coming. Falk steps up, juggling it, and incomplete. Tate Martin could not hang on. Fourth down.
That's Kylan Wilborn, who was giving chase to Tate Martin. It's such an advantage when you can have one of your best pass rushers who plays the stud position also drop into zone coverage and have the ability to chase receivers across the field.
Rough start for the Cougars offense here in Tucson tonight. Punting for the second time is Sweet on the rollout punt. And Shun Brown calling for a fair catch, juggles it, ball is loose, and Washington State jumps on it. Tate Martin getting down there for the Cougars. And the first break of this game goes to Washington State.
Well, we talk about this pretty frequently. You need to find the optimal distance to field the football correctly on a punt return. You don't want to lurch back. You don't want to lean backwards, because this has more of an opportunity to happen where the ball will bounce in a direction if you don't field it cleanly that you can't quite play. You want to be able to settle under the football and field it as you're stepping forward with momentum moving at the coverage team, even if you fair catch.
So a huge special teams turnover, and it goes to the Cougars. And Washington State has the ball at the Arizona 25 after Shun Brown. Difficulty fielding the punt from Kyle Sweet. So the Cougs on the plus side of the field. Let's see if they can capitalize on the turnover. Good protection for Falk, dumps it off. And out of the backfield, it's Jamal Morrow. And he gets inside the 20, shy of the first down.
And Marcel Yates that time decided to go with a three-man rush. He dropped his defense into zone coverage. At a certain point here, now that they're in the red zone, you would anticipate some sort of an end zone shot. So he wanted more bodies in coverage.
2nd and 3. Bernard Bell in motion. Falk toward the sideline, making the catch, and Jamal Morrow gets inside the 10. 1st and goal, Washington State.
It's tough duty on Brandon Rudd, because you've essentially got a wheel route coming, but he had to come from the opposing side of the field to try and chase down Jamal Morrow. A well-delivered football right on time from Falk.
3rd catch for Morrow, and great touch shown off by the Washington State quarterback. 1st and goal from the 7.
Fields, here's Schooler. You'll see them in these interior gaps lined up throughout the night.
Falk, incomplete. Trying to get that to Tavares Martin Jr.
And what that does, Roxy, with both linebackers walked up towards the line of scrimmage, it just provides a little bit of mental pressure to the protection and to Luke Falk, because now they're trying to determine whether or not they're actually going to become pass rushers. And if they do, then you have to decipher who's going to drop.
2nd and goal.
Look for continued back shoulder fades here, especially when showing man.
Good protection. Falk underneath, and it's Bernard Bell fighting his way down to the 1. There's the diminutive play sheet for Mike Leach, which is already folded. In growing smaller as the game progresses and getting more crumpled.
I got Coach Leach occasionally throws a small hand signal out there himself, even though there's like 8 other people on the sideline signaling for him.
Play clock rolling down. Falk to the corner. And it's no signal yet. And incomplete out of the end zone, trying to get it to Tavares Martin Jr. as the officials were looking at one another. Yes, he caught it, but he was out of bounds.
It's pretty well covered. You want to do what you can to make them attempt the most difficult pass on the field. So that outside fade is where they forced them to go to Tavares Martin Jr.
How about that graphic? 94 fourth down conversions since the start of 2012. Inside the 1, it's 4th and goal. James Williams, the running back. Falk. Open, touchdown. Washington State. Isaiah Johnson-Mack for the Cougars.
Both Johnson-Mack and Martin Jr. have proven to be so effective in the red zone with their ability to work into open space and then quickly flip their head around and get eyes on the football to make a clean catch. It's not an easy thing to do when you're not one of these big skyscrapers as a receiver.
4th touchdown catch for Johnson-Mack on the season. Eric Powell for the extra point. And Washington State is on the board in a tight one. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Or first quarter, rather. 3-point lead for Arizona.
10-7 is the score. Arizona has the lead over Washington State.
Eric Powell the kickoff, and this will skip through the end zone. And this week, we saw the launching of paycoachleach.com that some people started on his behalf. Plus, Mike Leach, he hired a PI to try to investigate Texas Tech because of the way the laws work right now. He cannot sue Texas Tech to get his money back. As Zach Green with the carry and a short pickup. So Mike Leach hired a private investigator to try to dig up some information on Texas Tech. They had a rally in Lubbock, Texas today in support of Mike Leach. Obviously, he could not be there.
So Coach Leach messing with Texas.
He's trying to. Bryce Wolma, the catch out to midfield. And it'll bring up 3rd down. So 3rd down and 5 for Arizona as we approach a half a minute to go in the first quarter. It's been an entertaining first quarter and homecoming here in Tucson. The electric Khalil Tate has thrown a touchdown pass already in this one. Good protection. Throwing the deep ball for Sean Poindexter, who can't hang on. Actually, Cedric Peterson, the intended target, not Poindexter, who was covered by Sean Harper Jr.
Sean Harper has solid coverage. Just as he flips his head around, his body starts to drift towards the inside. That allowed the angle for the ball to be able to drop in to Peterson. But again, we're seeing accuracy on the deep ball from a quarterback who PFF College tells us is more accurate on the deep ball than any other quarterback in the conference.
So Josh Pollock punting again, and a wobbly kick. Fair catch called and made by Jamal Morrow for Washington State, back near the Cougars' 10-yard line. Luke Falk on 1st down. It's complete. Out across the 20. And it's Tavares Martin Jr. out of bounds as we reach the end of one quarter in Tucson. Arizona leading number 15 Washington State, 10-7. Starting the second quarter, 10-7 Arizona leads number 15 Washington State. Pac-12 football presented by Red Robin, along with Anthony Herron. Roxy Bernstein with you in the booth. And first quarter, Luke Falk a little bit off his game. How much of it is Arizona's defense?
Quite a bit of it, because they're doing a nice job. The secondary and linebackers are undercutting a lot of these short and intermediate passes by Luke Falk. At a certain point, it's going to be up to Falk and the wide receivers of Washington State to start throwing the football over the top of the secondary.
And on the ground for Washington State, still fighting for extra yardage, is Gerard Wicks. Good second effort, picked up about 4. Washington State on the ground. A chance for Luke Falk tonight to become the all-time leading passer in the history of the conference, trailing just Sean Mannion, former Oregon State quarterback. Falk steps up underneath. Kyle Sweet lunging forward, a couple of yards shy of the first down. Tony Fields tripped him up.
One of the things I respect about how Luke Falk operates is that even after he takes big hits, you still see him willing to stand in the pocket. They're great pocket mechanics where after taking his drop, climbs vertically into the pocket, delivers an accurate pass. Quite often quarterbacks will start to get skittish with those proper mechanics after they take a few hits, especially low.
Three-man rush. Falk steps up. He'll try to run, and he goes down. Colin Schooler, the freshman and the reigning Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week, brought him down, and the punting unit trots out for Washington State.
It was just so well executed. Zone concept run. Colin Schooler is right here. He'll drop, and then the entire secondary is back just waiting with eyes in the backfield. Even the press that was shown at the boundary, proper spacing available, so everyone who's at or beyond the sticks has a defensive back, has someone in coverage there in a position to make a play.
Rollout punt from Kyle Sweet. And Shun Brown, a fair catch, and Arizona will have good field position to start this drive. Cats still up 3 on Wazoo. Well, Khalil Tate back to work. There's numbers tonight. And Arizona leading Washington State, middle of the second quarter. 10-7. From the Arizona 42. Play action for Tate. Throw the deep ball on first down. Tony Ellison, and he makes the catch.
It'll get you one way or another. One of the things these receivers will need to learn, though, is that Khalil Tate has plenty of arm strength to get it to them. I've seen a couple of times where they've throttled down on some deeper passes.
41 yards in the last play to Ellison. This to Shun Brown. Breaks tackles, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. 17 yards. Tate to Brown.
There's certainly some great make you miss on display from Shun Brown, but check the blocking. You got two teammates in front, two defensive backs who are stalked out of the picture, and Shun Brown just has to make one defender miss.
4 touchdown grab for Brown on the season. And the second TD pass for Khalil Tate tonight. Pollock the extra point. And it's 17-7. Arizona's built the lead back up to 10. Okay, Khalil Tate, and he's doing some things on the ground, but he's right now, Arizona's in front because of the arm of Khalil Tate.
And there's a couple of other times he's put it on the money and receivers just haven't made plays. I mean, Khalil Tate continues to throw the football well, and it's one thing to do it for a week or two and, you know, you show some arm strength or you hit a couple of big plays. This is consistent now. This is 4 weeks in a row, or at least so far 3.5 games, let's call it, where he's not only shown deep ball ability, but we've seen him on the move, throwing football outside the numbers with accuracy, with timing, hitting people in stride.
Lucas Havrasik the kickoff, and it skips through the end zone. Falk on first down. Good protection to the outside, and it's tipped, broken up by Jarius Wallace. Tried to get that to Renard Bell.
And Jarius Wallace has played well in this first half. He's been so active. Part of what people don't realize as much, and we saw a look at Khalil Tate there, just the way he's interacting with the teammates, the juice that he provides to them intangibly.
So Jameer Calvin was the intended target on that first down pass attempt. Tavares Martin in motion. Falk to Martin. And Martin brought down a bit shy of the first down, as it's Kylan Wilborn, the first man there for Arizona.
we rarely see from Washington State, if ever, is just full-on hurry up, just true tempo. I think that's something that Mike Leach should consider working in as the game moves forward. Just trust Luke Falk to maybe even call a few plays on his own. Just get the team in a hurry, not just back over the football, but get it snapped more quickly and not allow Arizona to set their defense.
3rd and a short 2. Screen set up. Brought down, appears to be a bit shy. Jace Whitaker quickly closing in on Desmond Patman.
This will be asking quite a bit.
And now he sends the punting unit out late. Kyle Sweet lined up to punt.
This makes more sense.
The rollout punt, and it's a line drive that takes a Washington State bounce that keeps rolling. Ends up being a really nice punt in terms of yardage for Sweet. 50-yarder. And Arizona with the football at their own 16-yard line.
Khalil Tate, to this point, only 16 rushing yards, but 182 through the air. He's thrown the ball well, both within the pocket and outside.
Tate on a quarterback run. Tate through the line. There he goes. Brought down inside the 5. Did he land on the defender and get in? Now they say touchdown Arizona. Khalil Tate, 84 yards. 4th consecutive game with a touchdown run of 70 or more from Tate.
This may be the most phenomenal 4-game stretch I've seen. The skill set of Khalil Tate that's been on display started with his ability to beat defenses on the hoof. What he's done on the wing has been as good as any. And then there, a Houdini act to somehow score a touchdown when it looks like he was down at the 5-yard line.
Was he out of bounds? Was that foot out of bounds as he was on top of Jalen Thompson? Tate doesn't get the touchdown, but he gets a run of 82 yards. Arizona, the offense, which leads the conference in scoring, rushing, total offense. Closing in on 300 yards of total offense. And Zach Green is hit behind the line. Logan Tago, the first hit. And then Jahad Woods, the redshirt freshman linebacker, got in there for Washington State. We haven't seen Isaac Dotson tonight at linebacker for Washington State. And if you follow the Cougars, you know they don't have injuries up in Pullman, so we don't know if we will see him tonight. Outstanding pursuit. Robert Taylor turned that play in. He got help from Hunter Dale, as well as Hercules Mataafa, and Tate a loss back to the 9.
They tried the QB sweep, just not able to get multiple Coug defenders reached to allow the corner for Khalil Tate.
But haven't been as in sync as they were earlier in the year. Faking the reverse, J.J. Taylor. And Washington State ready for it. Justice Rogers, the redshirt freshman linebacker who's in there for Dotson, makes the play, and it's 4th and goal. 25-yard try for Josh Pollock, who's made a field goal already tonight. Trying to make this a 13-point lead. Pollock, and he got it. Arizona 20, Washington State 7. Just inside 3 minutes to go in the half. Lucas Haversick, the kickoff, and this will go through the back of the end zone. Tyler Helinski, the sophomore, takes over for Falk, who is standing on the sideline with his helmet on. And we've seen this before with Helinski, came in and led that great comeback in that early victory over Boise State. Helinski to the outside, it's complete to Tavares Martin Jr. And it's a first down out across the 35, rustled down by Schooler.
One of the things, because to me, a big part of what was happening, I put on the Washington State receivers as much as Luke Falk. But one of the things that happens with Helinski in the lineup, he's more mobile. And so all this man coverage where Arizona DBs have their backs turned and they're undercutting routes, Helinski may be able to exploit that.
He rounded the Cougs from 21 down in that game against Boise State. He's completed 68% of his passes so far in the season. Wide open, and it's Jameer Calvin. And he's out to the 45. Demetrius Flanagan fouls on the tackle, and the Cougars get up on the football.
And here, because of the situation in the game, there's a bit more tempo. Washington State not only rushing over the football more quickly, but getting it snapped earlier in the play clock on these initial snaps of the drive.
Warren Wicks split with Helinski in the backfield on 2nd and short. Wicks goes in motion. Helinski steps up, drops it off, and getting to the outside and pushed out of bounds is Jamal Morrow. And forward progress, it appears, is at the line and should be a first down with 1:49 left in the half.
On a night where Luke Falk was set to become the all-time leading passer in Pac-12 history in yardage and perhaps touchdowns as well, Mike Leach, as per usual, showing little regard for stats, milestones, anything of that sort.
So the sophomore Helinski getting a chance here late in the first half, under pressure from Bowles. And he throws it away. No, it's caught. A juggling catch, but losing yardage is Martin. That was a tremendous catch by Martin. The only problem was they lost yardage.
Well, and Helinski had to play very similar to that early when he came into the game against Boise State, where he had a, wow. that was a crossover move to make the grab.
2nd and 14 after the loss of 4. Toward the outside, incomplete, looking for Patman. And it's 3rd down for Washington State, 1:15 left in the half. And there is Falk. 13 of 23 for 93 yards and a touchdown. But Mike Leach trying to jumpstart the offense, looking for a spark. Although Falk did get a bit banged up, but that doesn't appear to be the reason he's out of the game. Good protection. Helinski. And cutting it back. Jamal Morrow lunging forward. He's a yard shy of the first down. Jarius Wallace tripped him up as we check in with Lewis.
Roxy, just a quick update on Luke Falk. As I walked by a moment ago, he's taking no medical attention, so there doesn't look to be anything physically wrong with him.
He's standing there right next to Mike Leach. It's 4th and 1 at the Arizona 45 with Helinski at quarterback. Morrow goes in motion. Helinski to the outside. It's Martin the catch. Bounces it toward the sideline. And Martin run out of bounds. First down Washington State as they convert on 4th down for 18 yards.
Helinski very definitive and with a slightly stronger arm than Luke Falk. Gets it to Tavares Martin Jr. And when you can hum the football there that much more quickly, it doesn't allow the pursuit to get there in time. There's more space available to the receiver after the grab.
And Martin, who didn't play last week in that shutout of Colorado for a violation of team rules, back this week and having an impact on this drive is Kyle Sweet. The catch inside the 10. 1st and goal. Clock stopped to reset the chains with 28 seconds to go, and Washington State again does not have a timeout. So 1st and goal after Helinski finds Sweet. And Helinski is 7 of 8. Helinski all day. Still looking. Helinski now will run. And he dives into the end zone. Touchdown Cougars.
Let's check the last 2 snaps. It's Kyle Sweet running a cross-country route, just coming all the way across the field. Pass rush doesn't get home. Helinski hits him right there in stride. And then here, where in the Boise State game we saw early, he got careless with the football, turned it over. Now the presence of mind to protect it, using the mobility we discussed just a moment ago to put points on the board.
The first career rushing touchdown for Helinski. And with 10 seconds left in the first half, Eric Powell gets the extra point, and it's a 6-point game. Tyler Helinski replacing Luke Falk in a touchdown. Tyler Helinski leads a drive down the field. Who's your quarterback to start the second half, Anthony?
It's Tyler Hilinski. It feels weird. It's odd to say that when the guy who at some point will hold every significant passing record in the history of the Pac-12 Conference, Luke Falk's on the sideline, but Hilinski has come into the game, given life to the offense, and we've seen before. You referenced the Boise State game where Hilinski was the one who led that overtime victory.
Squib kick. Here's Tyrell Johnson. Johnson with a lane. Johnson breaks a tackle. And Johnson steps out of bounds. There is 1 second left in the half. 45-yard return off the squib kick from Powell. And the Wildcats have the football at the Washington State 40. Would you try a 57-yarder with Pollock?
Under part of the helmet was grabbed by Tay Martin there. The conditions on the field don't appear to be windy. I think if you've got faith in your kicker, it's certainly worth a try. I mean, we've seen the leg strength over and over again with the ball being kicked out the back of the end zone. I mean, folks don't get to return very many kicks against the Wildcats.
So this is Havrasik lining up for a 57-yard kick.
An absolute leg cannon.
This has the leg. And he got it! 57 yards! Lucas Havrasik and the Cats. Lucas Havrasik, who nailed a 57-yard field goal to end the first half. And another touchback for the kicker for the Wildcats as we check in with Lewis.
Well, Roxy, as Mike Leach put on his headset, I asked him about the decision to switch quarterbacks from Falk to Hilinski. And he said that he wanted Luke to see the field from the sideline. Sometimes you got to bring them off the field so they can really see things from that perspective. And when I asked him about who starts, he said Hilinski will be back starting here in the second half. What about the problem known as Khalil Tate, who has the 2 passing touchdowns and the 82-yard run we just saw? He said, well, we have to fill those gaps. He said if we leave a gap open, Tate's going to hit it and be gone. We talked about that from the top, right?
We did. And as Mike Leach told you, Lewis, Tyler Hilinski will continue at quarterback and start the second half. On a first down for the 25, Hilinski underneath, Kyle Sweet the catch. And Sweet wrestled down by Demetrius Flanagan, fouls after a gain of 7.
And you asked me the question before the half ended. So this move doesn't necessarily surprise me in leaving Hilinski on the field because he did look highly effective.
He's 8 of 9 through the air. 2nd and 3. Hilinski under pressure, coming back, making the catch. Desmond Patman, first down, Washington State and more. Patman into Arizona territory. Jarius Wallace finally on the tackle after a 22-yard gain.
A proper read and the twist stunt, not able to get home. This offensive line, who's had to pass protect obviously a lot throughout the season because of the volume of passes thrown by Mike Leach.
Toward the sideline. And with the catch and getting out of bounds is Jameer Calvin, first down Cougars.
It's a good ball, and it takes some arm strength to get it there in the timing it does, because this wasn't an anticipatory throw. Calvin was already wide open out towards the sideline, so Hilinski had to put some RPMs behind it to make sure he got it there before the safety was in coverage.
From the 18, Jamal Morrow, the running back. And Morrow brought down, no gain. Tony Fields, the freshman linebacker, with the stop.
Hilinski adds that additional element, the mobility he has. You know, he's certainly not Khalil Tate, but he's more mobile than Luke Falk. And so if we see another scenario, as we saw at the end of the first half, where the pass rush doesn't get home, Washington State has blocked the twist stunts very well in passing downs. Hilinski can exploit the open running lanes.
On 2nd and 10, Hilinski, the out route, and it's caught out of bounds. Tay Martin, 1st and goal, Washington State.
Timing and accuracy. It's been truly impressive. Clean catch from Tay Martin after some drops in the first half.
So Hilinski now 12 of 15 through the air. After taking over for Falk late in the first half, Martin the catch, touchdown Washington State. Hilinski has run and now passed for a score since entering the game.
Check the release though. Just the shake move from Tay Martin. And the ball, back shoulder, nice clean grab.
Second touchdown catch for the freshman. Eric Powell for the extra point. So Mike Leach yanks Luke Falk on a night when he can become the all-time passing leader in the history of the conference. But the extra point hits the upright. It is no good from Eric Powell. Leaves it a 3-point game. Strange things happen on Pac-12 After Dark, as we know. Well, Alex Grinch's defense creating another turnover. And they have 72 points off turnovers, the most in the Pac-12 this season. And it helps pull Washington State within 3, even with the extra point that was missed. As Eric Powell with the kickoff. This will be a touchback out to the 25. They try the fly sweep with Tyrell Johnson. And Washington State ready for it. Hunter Dale out there for Washington State, second down.
Khalil Tate threw for a career game high already in the first half. So to me, there's no reason to get away from the passing game being a big part of how you operate. But what's made it so effective is the ability to keep the defense honest with that run.
Here's Tate to throw, and it's broken up and intercepted by Washington State. Jahad Woods for the Cougars with the interception. Off the deflection, and the Cougars force another turnover.
This looked to me like the defender got there pretty early. I mean, yeah, that's a blown call.
Marcellus Pippins with the early contact.
Yeah, he reaches both hands around, rakes the arms down. Receiver had no opportunity to even attempt to raise his hands and play the ball. This is a big miss from the officials because not only is it an incomplete pass, but it leads to a takeaway. And Poindexter couldn't raise either arm.
Tried to get that right arm up there.
Yeah. I mean, because of the result, it's a big miss. You know, it's a little bit less of a big deal if the ball just hits the ground. The fact that it leads to an interception is very unfortunate for Arizona.
The crowd here clearly upset as Hilinski underneath. Tavares Martin Jr. dancing toward the sideline and brought out of bounds by Demetrius Flanagan fouls. And off the deflection, that's now 3 turnovers forced by Washington State tonight, 2 by the defense and 1 on special teams.
Now the Arizona defense has to bow up. It's great field position attained for the Cougars.
The interception by Woods setting Washington State up here. And a nice leaping catch. Hauling it in is Martin. And just outside the 10, first down.
Talk about a rise and grind jump ball. Hilinski willing to throw this into tight coverage. Martin Jr. skies up to make the physical grab.
7th catch for Martin. Down 3 inside 9.5 to go, third quarter. Gerard Wicks goes in motion. Hilinski from the pocket. Steps up. Hilinski brought down shy of the goal line. It's 1st and goal by Fields. But a big hit. And there's an Arizona player still down. And now getting up is Jarius Wallace.
I was waiting for Hilinski to run the ball. I respect the fact he wanted to stay in the pocket and throw it. There was a running lane. There was an alley available to him for quite some time as, again, that pass rush, not able to get home. And you see the ball carrier beating a tackler, helmet to helmet. I mean,
is that targeting?
No, in my book it's not.
Play clock rolling down. They just do get it off. Hilinski scrambling, gets in his second rushing touchdown, and Washington State has the lead. And an Arizona player is shaken up.
They got away with it on the two-point play last week where Colin Schooler made the game-saving, game-winning deflection. But that's the rub. When you're there that close to the end zone and you've got a mobile QB, you go man across the board, then there's just a dearth of defenders available who can try to, in that short span of time, tackle the quarterback before he hits the end zone because people have their backs turned.
So Powell, who missed the extra point last opportunity. Comes back out there. So Washington State with the lead for the first time tonight. And Eric Powell gets this extra point and a 4-point lead for number 15 Washington State, as Tyler Hilinski has come off the bench for the Cougars and lit a spark under the guys from the Palouse. They have the lead here in the desert. What a huge turn of events here is the defense fueling the offense for Washington State. Arizona turnovers have led to Tyler Hilinski points, and Washington State has their first lead of the night as he's come off the bench to spell Luke Falk. He's run for 2 scores. He's thrown another. And again, it's not the first time we've seen Mike Leach do this. Anthony, go with Hilinski off the bench to look to get something going for Washington State. Eric Powell the kickoff, and this is returnable for Tyrell Johnson. And Johnson out across the 30, and he's pushed out of bounds near the 35. Right here, Arizona trying to recover, and J.J. Taylor straight up the middle. J.J. Taylor tripped up inside the 5. First and goal, Wildcats.
We were talking track meet coming into this game. Even though both defenses have shown the ability to be highly effective, the second half is shaping up in the manner we anticipated.
Here's Taylor again. He's in. Touchdown, Arizona. And the Wildcats have reclaimed the lead.
An offense with a lot of young guns, undaunted by what happened on the previous drive. A healthy J.J. Taylor. Fun to see him back on the field.
The 62-yard run sets up a 2-yard touchdown run. J.J. Taylor with his 3rd rushing score of the season, and the Cats strike quickly. They respond to go back on top. Josh Pollock for the extra point. 30-27, Arizona.
Those guys with the raw thighs for the Wildcats, making it happen for their diminutive ball toter.
And you're looking at the heavily taped right ankle of left guard Christian Betcher for Arizona, who has been struggling over here behind the bench area for the last several minutes. You see him now kind of lifting it up and going back down. Trainers had him back behind us trying to see if he could work it out. You see him now squatting down trying to see if he can get some movement, but Betcher not out there on the field for that last Arizona touchdown. Not sure if he's going to make it back.
Lucas Haversick, another touchback.
All right, Roxy, today's subject in Beyond the Hash Marks is Arizona running back Zach Green. Here's a young man who has already graduated, working on a master's, and has 3 career options already lined up. So his love of football, of course, has Zach dreaming of the NFL, but he credits his coaches and teachers here at Arizona for forcing him to think about something beyond the game of football, like option 2, which will go with his first degree in urban and regional development that he earned in 3 years. How about that? Now working on a master's in real estate and development. And then option 3 would be to follow in the footsteps of his father, Roger Green, who was a 30-year air traffic controller for the FAA. So Zach has already taken his dad's advice. He applied to the FAA a few years ago, passed all the tests, ready to be a future air traffic controller potentially, as we see the play go to the ground. And this guy really has taken full advantage of his experience here in Tucson. Post-collegiate life is set. Football, real estate, air traffic control. I guess the guy's post-football life is ready to take off. What do you think?
It definitely is, and this Washington State offense trying to take off too is a 25-yard pass from Helinski to Martin. And also, Lewis, Zach Green making his first career start tonight. Arizona after 130 yards rushing last week against Cal is Helinski into Arizona territory. Isaiah Johnson-Mack the catch.
I'm surprised we're not seeing Marcel Yates bring more pressure to speed up the process of Tyler Helinski. You know, they're using a lot of four-man rushes, which is okay, but your individual pass rushers aren't getting home. So Helinski is consistently sitting in the pocket with no regard for any defenders being around him.
Empty backfield for Helinski. It's Marcel Yates, the defensive coordinator for Arizona, trying to get that defense to get some pressure on the quarterback as the pass underneath, and Renard Bell with the grab inside the 40. Bring up second down.
So I believe at some point we will see them go back to where Colin Schooler, Tony Fields, walking in the A-gaps, threatening that, especially once they go to their dime personnel and you have more small players, more diminutive defenders on the field who can run and show various looks.
2nd and 4. Helinski over the middle. It's caught. Desmond Patman. Patman cuts it to the outside. He's run out inside the 10. 1st and goal, Washington State.
They brought pressure that time. Protection holds up. And now Patman doesn't continue working across the field as a more experienced player sat down in the zone. Helinski delivered an accurate pass. Good run after catch.
Helinski is over 200 yards passing. He is 20 of 26 for 238 since coming in. And what have you seen, Ann, from Helinski that's created and been a catalyst for this Cougars offense? Under pressure, Helinski flushed out. Intercepted in the end zone. Chase Whitaker for the Wildcats. Third interception of the season for Whitaker and 2 picks a couple of weeks ago here against UCLA, including a pick 6.
Well, additional pressure being brought. Tyler Helinski outside the pocket. His process was sped up by Marcel Yates, as I just spoke about a moment ago. And Whitaker back in coverage, able to make the play in the end zone.
There's that mistake, Anthony, throwing it back across your body, away from your momentum.
Chase Whitaker has very soft, quiet hands for a DB. And that's the yin and yang of it. You know, Helinski, a more physically gifted player than Luke Falk. That's not a mistake you see Luke Falk make very frequently, though.
On the ground, it's J.J. Taylor, the ball carrier. And he runs into a gang of Cougars right near the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard. There's Falk getting loose. So after the second interception thrown by Helinski, we'll see if Mike Leach stays with the understudy or returns to Falk at a night where he could become the all-time passing leader in the history of the conference. But Helinski's clearly done a lot of really good things. Speaking of good things, huge hole. J.J. Taylor is gone. 79 yards. Touchdown, Arizona.
Attack mode for the Cougs up front. All that presence working into the backfield. No defenders in position to try and stop J.J. Taylor. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this felt like the type of front with the way they penetrate and attack that could really suit the running style of J.J. Taylor. That's starting to play out here in the second half.
Josh Pollock, the extra point. So J.J. Taylor, 2 touchdowns tonight, 144 yards rushing, and a 79-yard score in Arizona with a 10-point lead. Lucas Haversick, another kickoff that bounces through the back of the end zone and out to the 25. As Helinski to Kyle Sweet, and he's brought down by Dane Cruikshank after a gain of about 4.
That last third down, the initial part of it couldn't have gone any better than what Marcel Yates hoped for. Everyone was covered, blanketed on the back end. They dump it off. You got 4 defenders in position for a tackle, but Jamal Morrow was just better on that play.
Gerard Wicks goes in motion. Helinski escapes. On the move, throws, and it's caught into Arizona territory. Isaiah Johnson-Mack, first down Cougars.
Second reaction play. This is one of the rare times that just the straight pass rush was able to provide pressure. Bowles forced Helinski to leave the pocket through an accurate pass to Johnson-Mack.
Final minute of this third quarter. James Williams, Gerard Wicks split with Helinski. As the play action, and Helinski throws, and it's caught. Another first down. Desmond Patman the catch. Rather, Isaiah Johnson-Mack the catch for Washington State. It's a first down at the Arizona 33-yard line.
One of the things you don't see when Helinski's in at quarterback, he just hasn't had the reps that Luke Falk's had, because there's moments where the box is light, and especially at this point in the drive where the defense has gotten a little bit tuckered out, it's a great opportunity to run the football right at him.
Helinski lost the ball. Just slipped out of his hand. He got it back, lost it again. Arizona looks to have it. Luca Bruno's down there at the bottom of the pile for Arizona. Kylan Wilborn applying the pressure. It's the end of the third quarter either way, but who has the football? Washington State got it back. And luckily for the Cougars, James Williams recovered it. End of the third quarter, and the Cougars have the football as we head to the fourth, and here's one more look at that last play.
Well, limited pressure again on Tyler Helinski. Ball just slips out of his hands. Got it back for a moment, and the defense swarms. Some things that shouldn't be grabbed in front of other folks.
We start the fourth quarter. Tyler Helinski, and Desmond Patman wasn't even looking for the football. It's incomplete. And it's third down. So Helinski, who came in relief of Luke Falk, who is healthy by all appearances on the Washington State sideline. Helinski came in late in the second quarter, has thrown a touchdown, he's run for 2, but he's also thrown 3 interceptions.
This Arizona defense has played well both in attack mode and sitting back. Here on third and long, I like him in attack mode, force the issue.
Helinski, and out of the backfield, slipping out, Jamal Morrow. And he's out of bounds right near the 35. Chase Whitaker defensively there for the Wildcats, and it's fourth down, and we'll see what Mike Leach wants to do.
So it would have been an easier decision if they would have picked up more yardage, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if from this field position he still went ahead and goes for this fourth down.
Powell's shown you he has the leg, but he missed a long one in the first half. And now they're going to send the field goal kicker out, and here comes Eric Powell, who also missed an extra point here earlier in the second half.
Well, the decision was a bit delayed. There's not a lot of time for Powell to get himself set here.
So going for a 56-yard try now. He's got the leg. Will he have the accuracy? And it is good. Career best 56-yard kick. And Eric Powell has made this a one-score game.
57-yarder in the first half, correct?
That he just missed. And that one had plenty of leg into the back netting.
Drilled that one, no problem at all.
So the senior with a career-best 56-yard kick. Both Washington State and Arizona one conference loss as this will be brought back. And a big hit, but bouncing it outside. Cedric Peterson on the return.
After making it a one-score game, this Washington State defense, you see them going back to their stem, their pre-snap movement.
Taylor spinning and goes down. He picked up a yard. Hunter Dale on the edge for the Cougars defense. And when they stem like that, so close to the snap and that movement, how difficult is it for the offensive line to try to stay on their assignment?
Your target completely changes as an offensive blocker. And so at that point, once they move from one gap assignment to the next, the footwork needs to stay consistent. You just have to be able to prepare to hit a new target.
Play action for Khalil Tate. Under pressure. Throws it to the outside. Making the catch, spinning. Tony Ellison to midfield.
Big time throw under pressure. Khalil Tate, as they come off the edge, didn't even have to step into it. Just floats it outside. And Ellison making a few defenders miss.
At the Cougars 49. Tate keeps. Khalil Tate, he's gone. Touchdown Arizona. 49 yards for Tate.
As shocking as it seems, Khalil Tate wasn't over 100 yards before this play as a rusher. A career high he had throwing the football in the first half. Not another passing yard in the third quarter. But he is always one play away.
So both Taylor and Tate now well over 100. Pollock for the extra point, and it's a two-score game in Arizona. Behind Khalil Tate has gone up at number 15, Wazoo.
The edge was sealed so soundly, and as soon as he turns the corner, Khalil Tate, house call.
44-30, Arizona leading Washington State. Pac-12 football presented by Red Robin as Khalil Tate rips off a 49-yard run. There is Luke Falk. So, Ant, you're down 2 touchdowns, 12:50 to go. Helinski's done an effective job off the bench. Falk is your guy. Who's your quarterback on this drive if you're Mike Leach?
I think you've given Tyler Helinski his opportunity. He's been inconsistent in his effectiveness. Luke Falk is your best opportunity to come back into this game, in my opinion.
Helinski lofts it. And it's caught. Brandon Arconato with the catch. Arizona says they have it, but it's Arconato with the grab. It looked like simultaneous possession, and it stays with the offense and Arconato the catch.
But as I referenced, I like the willingness to throw the football deep. Arizona presses you, and they don't have a safety deep who's in a help position. That's great execution.
In Arizona territory at the 43. So Helinski is now over 300 yards passing. And the catch is made. Short gain is Dane Cruikshank closing in on Jameer Calvin. And the Cougs quickly get on the football.
It does surprise me. We've seen it at times where Marcel Yates has lit up the pocket with additional rushes. It hasn't been consistent with Helinski in there.
Jameer Calvin in motion. Helinski. And it's broken up. Dane Cruikshank, a terrific play. Batted that away from Renard Bell.
Well, this is what the additional rushers force. Helinski has to make a quicker decision. He made the proper decision there, but he couldn't stand in the pocket long enough to be as accurate with it as he wanted. Arizona's been willing to undercut these routes all night.
3rd and 4. Helinski Throwing a deep ball. Jace Whitaker, a terrific play, locked up with Tay Martin. It's 4th down.
Got another look at some of the jostling that they've allowed to go on the exterior in coverage. I mean, this is more physical than some of the flags that have been called in this game. I would have had less of an issue with that being a penalty than one of the previous ones.
4th down and 4 from the Arizona 37. The offense out there is Mike Leach going for it. Down 2 touchdowns. 11:26 to go. Jamal Morrow, the running back. Bell goes in motion. And it's intercepted. Helinski is picked off. Colin Schooler down the sideline. Schooler. Touchdown. The pick 6 from the reigning Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week. "66 yards on the pick 6 from Schooler. Pollock the extra point, and it's 51-30 Arizona now leading number 15, Washington State. Haversick to kick off, rolls into the end zone. It'll come out to the 25, and Washington State down 21, 11-11 to go. And on the ground, it's James Williams, the ball carrier, and should be enough to move the chains.
Now again, there are some things he's physically capable of that Luke Falk is not, and the offense was not moving very consistently early in the game with Luke Falk at quarterback. So those two things are more than worth noting.
Down the line screen. And it's Tavares Martin Jr., another 1st down for the Cougars, shy of midfield.
Yeah, Mike Leach doesn't care about my opinion, nor should he. But to me,
doesn't care about anyone.
Right. I think we know the answer to that. But as far as what I've seen play out throughout tonight's game, and think back to when we spoke to him after that Boise State game, where Tyler Helinski went in and led the team back to that overtime victory where he pulled Luke Falk from the lineup.
Helinski over the middle. Kyle Sweet, nice adjustment for the catch. That's a pickup of about 4 in Arizona territory.
One of the points he made to us was that he removed Luke Falk from the game, initially just briefly, to let him come to the sideline and assess things from that vantage point. Then he put him back onto the field. When he took him out the next time, he'd gotten banged up, and then Helinski really got hot. I'm surprised Luke Falk hasn't been given an opportunity to step back onto the field tonight.
Blindside pressure. Helinski gets rid of it quickly and breaking a tackle. Tay Martin. Good cutback by Martin. And Martin to the end zone. Touchdown, Washington State. 49 yards. Helinski's 2nd touchdown pass. And they both have gone to Tay Martin.
They've got some young guys who can really get after it after the catch. And Tay Martin, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, he's gotten more and more comfortable with the route combinations required of him, especially in sight adjustment situations.
So the quick strike by the Cougars, and now Powell for the extra point. And it's back to a 2-score game with 9:46 to go. Pac-12 after dark. We're your home for it. Well, Luke Falk, like us, is being treated to a terrific football game. And only right now, he's a spectator. As Tyler Helinski took over for him late in the first half. Helinski just throwing his 2nd touchdown pass. He has thrown for 387 yards. 51-37 Arizona. So here's Powell's kick. Tyrell Johnson from the 1. And Johnson reaches the 25, and he's brought down there. Well, coming into tonight, as Taylor is wrestled down in the backfield, Frankie Luvu, the first man there for Wazoo. But coming into tonight, Washington State's defense had allowed only 8 plays of 20 or more yards on the season. And we've seen a number of chunk plays tonight from the Wildcats. That was a loss of 2. They've had 10 plays that are big chunk plays of 20 or more yards in this ball game tonight. And Washington State had allowed 8 the entire season.
And look at the play clock.
Tate, play action, slipping out. Jamie Nunley breaking a tackle. Nunley down the sideline. And Nunley makes it 1st and goal. Second time tonight they have done that.
But Khalil Tate just has to run towards the exterior of the defense, and as soon as they see him even look like he's going to take off and run, the entire defense overreacts, and again, Nunley gets behind the safeties.
68 yards to Nunley. Tate, 275 yards passing, 148 yards rushing, and 3 total touchdowns. 1st and goal. From the 9, J.J. Taylor gets down to the 2 before he's driven backward by Jalen Thompson and Jahad Woods.
It's worth noting that throughout the season, up until the last game for Arizona, Nick Wilson, one of the program's all-time leading rushers, there'd been sort of that two-headed monster between he and J.J. Taylor. Wilson not healthy enough to go tonight, so that's why J.J. Taylor and Zach Green have been the main running backs getting carries, while Khalil Tate has been who he's been for the last 4 weeks.
Second and goal. Taylor down to the 1. Woods on the stop.
You get the sense that Rich Rodriguez maybe doesn't even mind that that play didn't go for a touchdown yet because of how they're looking to milk the clock here. And, you know, having more game control is part of that equation, where when they've gotten out to leads, they've been in a position to run the clock down. But just overall, just as much as I've watched Rich Rodriguez and called his games over the years, even early in the game, they've been willing to run more clock.
3rd and goal from the 1. So Green has replaced Taylor at running back. Zach Green powers his way through. Touchdown, Arizona. Sixth of the season for Green in his 9th career.
Well, check out Nathan Eldridge right there in the middle, and it's not a dominant block from the standpoint of forcing the nose guard back, but after the snap, he's able to wheel out that interior defender and create the running lane for Zach Green.
Josh Pollock, 58-37. Arizona up 3 scores again with 6:51 to go. Lucas Haversick sends this one almost into the locker room. Arizona with the lead as the Wildcats 585 yards of total offense, but balance tonight. 275 through the air, 310 on the ground. Bubble screen. And Jamal Morrow, close to a 1st down, should have enough on his 10th catch tonight.
Well, there hasn't been anyone this season that's been able to do the Alex Grinch defense like Khalil Tate and Arizona's offense did them tonight. I mean, statistically, one of the best defenses in the country. You just referenced the yardage they've given up.
All day for Helinski. Only 2 rushers. Now he'll run. And he gets spun around and thrown out of bounds by Wilborn. So the Cougs will try to regroup, and they'll get Stanford next week. And the Cardinal were lucky to escape Corvallis Thursday night with a win.
Yeah.
Bryce Love didn't play. And it took a late turnover that opened the door for Stanford to win that football game.
And the Pac-12 has been eating itself alive lately. The conference is so deep. This is just going to be another example. Unranked Pac-12 foe knocking off a ranked opponent.
Ball behind Kyle Sweet, incomplete. And it's third down. Tyler Helinski, 452 yards passing. As a club, Washington State is 545 tonight because Falk started and tossed for 93.
By the end of the game, it looks like Washington State will have run 100 plays if they move the chains before this drive's over.
Their 18th possession of the night. As Helinski to pass Isaiah Johnson-Mack is pushed out of bounds. Shy of a first down, it'll be fourth down. The Cougars, who came into this ball game, the number 2 scoring defense in the conference, the number 3 defense against the run, the number 1 against the pass, and number 2 in total defense in the Pac-12. And they have just been gashed by Arizona all night. Helinski throws, and it's caught for a first down into Arizona territory. That's another catch for Tavares Martin Jr., his 11th tonight. From the Arizona 48. Here's Helinski. And a short pickup. Pass to Jameer Calvin. The Wildcats for real? And are they a legit player for the Pac-12 South Championship?
I believe they are. They are. We've seen over the last few weeks not just what Khalil Tate's been able to do as a playmaker at quarterback, but also this defense.
Pass to James Williams. And Williams close to a first down.
It's such a young football team, especially on defense. 5 true freshmen started. That's the second most in the Football Bowl subdivision. And we've seen those players, their defensive backs, their linebackers, these freshman players get better and better as the seasons move forward.
On third down, Helinski's pass. And it goes for a first down to Isaiah Johnson-Mack.
So you say all that about the defense, but it can't be ignored that Khalil Tate is not a football player who only defeats you with his legs. He's got all the Pat White and Woody Dantzler and Denard Robinson you can hope for with his legs. But he's also a player now who's getting more of that Lamar Jackson to him. We see his career high in passing yardage that he put up tonight against one of the best defenses in the Pac-12 conference. One of the best in the country, really, to be honest with you, from Washington State.
James Williams stays in bounds inside the 30. Final 15 seconds on homecoming in Tucson, and the Arizona Wildcats are going to knock off number 15 Washington State. Helinski to the outside, and Patman the catch. Dancing inside the 10, and that will do it. And the Wildcats improve to 4-1 in conference play, 6-2 overall, as they knock off number 15 Washington State and hand the Cougars just their second loss on the season. But Khalil Tate does it again.
275 passing yards, by far career high. He already had his career high at the half in tonight's game.
So the Arizona Wildcats, 585 yards of total offense. Pick off Tyler Helinski 4 times and run away from Washington State 58-37. For my partner, Anthony Herron, for Lewis Johnson, our producer Michael Molinari, director Scott Barkey, and our great Pac-12 Network crew, Roxy Bernstein saying so long from Tucson. Now to the Sonic post-game report.